in southern Alberta. I don't know how you felt, but it really made me feel alive again.
Yes, very much so. That sunshine and the more modest temperature, yeah, that was very enjoyable. Yes.
Yes, it make me feel like a flower that is coming alive right after Valentine's Day. Isn't that incredible? I don't know what you guys did for Valentine, but right after Valentine, beautiful weather. You can go and walk. Now, this is lovely. I am so, so, so thankful, you know?
Excellent. That's lovely. And what a poetic way of saying that, Brother Daniel. You know, like the Valentine's Day, the flowers in your mind. That's lovely. That's lovely. So
That's right. And that's why it just make us, it make the topic that we are talking about even more important, as the sun is shining and it's a sunrise to a new day of the hope of fire. You know, where we know last week we were talking about the 3H. You know, the sun is shining right now on these things. And again, a reminder. I don't know how you want to introduce this, but I think this is so important for us to actually focus on that. Just go for it. Do you want to say anything before I jump onto it? I don't know if you remember. Do you even remember what we talked about last week?
Of course I do, Brother Daniel. Yes. So what this show, by the way, the Hopifiers, this show is about audacious optimism. It's about stories and dreams that you wish were true. And here's the dream that Brother Daniel and I share that we wish was true. We had this dream where we had this special Google vision where we could see every human being at the same time. 7.6 billion of them could see them all at the same time. And of course, they've been always human beings, and they will be human beings until our race ends. But the thing that was different, and they're all a little bit different in terms of their color and their shape and their size, and you know the spiritual beliefs that they had, and the food that they eat, and the language that they speak. But they're the same in that they're humans. And these humans, all of them, were healthy. They all had enough water. They all had enough food. They all had enough shelter. It's beautiful that they were all healthy. These humans were hopeful. In your eyes, you could see the hope. And these humans are helping. They want to help themselves. They want to help others. With their deeds and their words, what comes out of their mouth and what they do with their hands, they're making a difference in other people's lives and in their life. So the 3H humans then is the common dream that Brother Daniel and I share, that we hope you might believe it as well, that you might buy that dream as well. Right, Daniel?
That's right. Indeed, it is very, very important. You know, there is a sense of the sameness in terms of our common humanity. You see, and when it comes to that, we all bleed red. The last time I checked, when you bleed red, I bleed red.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about sameness, we are saying there's one common humanity, and we share one earth, and the same reality called life on this part of eternity called earth, and that is some sameness. And yet, when we zoom down to it, not all of us really have the same opportunity.
Definitely not.
And so the key thing that last week we talking about is like, how do we really enhance our presence in the world? And you brought the idea about, well, there's our dream, and then there is something in that dream called health. How do you, being healthy, being helpful, and being hopeful? And last week, I don't know if you remember how much we talked about health. And in particular, we said that health is something that occurred to us both at the physical level, mental level, emotional level, and spiritual level. Do you remember? What do you remember? What you're a very smart man. And so what do you remember from our conversation? And I'm going to test you.
Okay, it's a test. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I was following along. But you know, one thing before I see if I could successfully meet the test, let me tell you this. Brother Daniel and I are coming to you from Lethbridge, Alberta. Lethbridge, Alberta is in the end of the people. So that's the land that we are on. And when I was talking about human beings and that we always been human beings, we're always going to be human beings until the race ends. One thing I should have said though is that there's been times, as an example, our Blackfoot people, when we guys, white guys like me, made up rules that said you're not a person. And 500 years ago, guys who look like Daniel, white guys like me, made up a rule that said you're not a person. And 100 years ago, females, my wife, your wife, our mums and sisters and daughters, a white guy like me made up a rule that said you're not a person. But we've always been human beings, always will be human beings. And so that's the common thing that we all share. And in terms of health, Daniel, yes, I recall very well. There's the health that we have to have so that we can be of value to ourselves. We can take care of our lives. We can engage in activities that are meaningful for us. We can be there to be present with the people that are important in our lives. And also that we can have the contribution, the ability to make a contribution, that we can make a difference in other people's lives. So those are kind of the three functional aspects of health, and that we can engage in activities that are important for us. We can do things that are meaningful in terms of our relationships, looking after those, and that as well, that we can make the difference we want to make in the world. Did I pass, Daniel?
That was clever. Now I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What about human being? What about us make us so? What about us make us such that we tend to demonize somebody who look different than us, the other? What about us make us really not really accept people who look a bit more maybe different than us?
Yeah, and that's a really good question, right? And I believe it is just a lack, it's ignorance, just a lack of awareness. If I never met a black man before and I meet you for the first time, say, hey man, Daniel, I like him. He's awesome, right? But if my first experience, or maybe I'm too shy to even talk to somebody who looks a little different than me. Maybe my parents told me goofy things, right? About people that were of different color or believed different gods or had different clothes, right? It's learned, right? Those fears or those concerns are learned. And how do they get unlearned? By having conversations with people who are different than you, by including people who are different you in the discussion, by having people who are different you sitting around the table when you are having conversations and when you're making decisions, right? So that I think is the solution to the problem of fear, people that look different than you or somehow are different than you. Do you agree?
Well, it leads me exactly to what I wanted to say. You see,
good. Let's hear.
That was fear when we talk about health, and I'm going to come back to that one. But again, it suffices to say this, that sometimes our brain exaggerates our differences. Our brain make us feel that we are so different, though we are truly same. And that trickle, whatever is taking place, and that's important to notice. It should actually give you some comfort that really brain exaggerate things, and at the same time, the brain will exaggerate your deficiencies. Oh, I look ugly, and so what happened is that fear have a way of informing, of turning. Our presence, or maybe infesting our presence, such that we are not in the world as we ought to.
Right. We're not here for this moment right now. That's what you're saying.
There's so much. So we tend to think or take our differences as deficiencies.
Right. Yes.
I look different than somebody. That means I am deficient. I mean, my physique is different. I got 8 packs. You have 6 packs only. And my brother.
I think you might be frozen, Daniel, or maybe it's my end. Oh, by the way, Chris Harper. Hey, thanks for the chat and the comment. Hey, guys, great talk. He said so. please feel free to comment, and we will engage with you. We'll have a chat with you, or you can even give us a call for that matter. Daniel, are you coming back, my friend? Oh, dang it. Okay, well, he'll be back soon, I hope. But basically, what I believe Brother Daniel is talking about, that when we're hardwired to look for fear to keep ourselves alive, and somebody that looks different than us is the concern, is what causes us to maybe not trust or believe somebody else is going to be kind or nice or reasonable, that we would be worried for our safety. So so I think that's getting to know. Are you back?
All of a sudden you went frozen, and then I can hear you say, "You are frozen." I said, "You were frozen first."
Okay, it was my fault. Anyways, I was just expanding where you were talking about fear. That fear is something, and an over-exaggeration of differences are perceived to be deficiencies, that there's something bad or wrong. It's just different, right? So
that's right.
Yes, carry on.
And sometimes we judge things and people by the surface. We cannot judge people by the surface.
No.
It's not, most of the time, if you see somebody who is sad, look, you're in the bus and you see somebody with their head down, it doesn't, like, sometimes we can judge them. But it's not until you talk to them, you realize, oh, they're grieving. And if somebody, the person who was sitting in the bus, who had their head down, and you talk and say, I just lost my spouse, all of a sudden, you notice empathy grow in your heart for
sure.
that person. So sometimes it is because our biggest problem, our bigger issue is that we don't take enough time to approach people and to listen to people, to listen in such a way as to hear them and to feel them. That's so important.
Yes.
So when we talked last week about health, we say physically it's important to eat healthy. It's important to drink enough. It's important to not actually infest yourself with toxin and chemically infest yourself. And that is important to live healthy lives, and that everybody needs to make an effort to do that. And that was quite important. And we said that for the body, it needs that. And I think that's important. So we talk about health, but I also said it's not just about the health of the body, it's also the health of the mind. Meaning, when I think wrongly about myself, it edits my presence in the world. It edits the quality of my presence in the world. When I think in ways that diminish you, I not only diminish you, but I diminish me and I diminish the whole world. It's important to keep a mind rooted in truthful thinking about people.
So, Daniel, are you saying then that basically that diminishment, if Daniel is not being personal best Daniel, he's being less than that because of concerns about how he might be judged or that what other people might say, that then he's cheating himself, but he's cheating the world of your special gift. Yes?
That's right.
Yes.
That is so important. And I think our business people will be different if they could actually do business with courage, not fear. Mm-hmm. If our salespeople will be different, if I can be more transparent and knock a door and sell, here's what I'm offering, in all honesty. I think we just need to reckon the fact that we to become more honest, more truthful about ourselves, and think truthfully, think straight about yourself. And so if I see myself in the mirror and I don't like the reflection I'm seeing and I'm beginning to demean me, it makes me an unhealthy person to be around. What did you say? It makes me an unhealthy person to be a friend with. Tell me that. Because if I'm so self-conscious, doesn't that just affect your presence? I don't know, maybe you can jump in and that, but I just think there's something about my thinking. If I have stinking thinking, I can stink our relationship.
Yep, I agree with you entirely. But there's one thing I want to share this little quote with you I thought was really good. I'm taking this course through David Irvine, and the one of the quotes was, "A person who has good health has 1,000 wishes. A person who has poor health has one wish." Right? And the one wish is to get their health back, right? Because health is so important for everything else. And there is no distinction whether it's social or, pardon me, whether it's physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, wherever your health is lacking, your health is lacking, right? And your health, if it's at a high enough level that you can make the differences in your world and you can enjoy activities that are important and you can be there for your relationships, that's definitely what's important. And the self-talk, or the talk how you regard yourself, that you regard yourself as less than, then you're going to be less than, right? And you're not going to be the person you can be in your life and in your relationships, right? And I'm thinking relationships are probably, after health, it's relationships are the second thing that are the most important. Money's there, and everybody needs some, but certainly your health and relationships are the two keys that I think, right? So
and health affect everything, right?
definitely.
If I believe that I am not enough, if I believe there's something, a deficiency in me, what I'm going to do, in my presence, I'm going to show up less than myself.
Yes.
Not only that, I'm going to find ways to compensate.
Yes.
And so I'm going to eat more, and I'm going to spend more because I want to add more. I'm going to buy and find value from what is outside of me.
Right.
Right. Because
you will try. You try to find value outside of you, but it'll never happen, will it?
That's correct. It never add or diminish, because your true self cannot be edited. It cannot be shrunk. Your true self is eternal. They don't make two versions of you. You see, and that is a sense. That's what I'm talking about. A healthy person is you can define a healthy person by the kind of thinking, how healthy their thoughts are. You know, if I think healthy, I think it will affect my body. And now that is important. In fact, much of my body's unhealth is due to the way I think. Because if I think myself to terror, I think myself, sometimes if I feel like I'm hungry now, but actually I just ate. But I just have to tell my mind, I have to tell my body, hey, body, behave, manage yourself. I just fed you.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
So, but it gets me into trouble. My body gets me into trouble. So you buy into habitual lie and think that a habit. And so this is, we call it Lent for us this season, meaning we just actually try to cut something out.
Yeah.
Maybe a bad habit, or maybe something. Do like something like that. Because in my mind, if I say I'm going to stop drinking coffee, my mind say no. I need coffee. It's 10 o'clock. You need that coffee. I say, mind, body, we are okay. You know. I don't know if you struggle with the same thing, but I think I have some time to command my body to obey me. I don't know what about you?
Well, that is a challenge. And sometimes you just decide on some things that maybe they're a little bad for you, but you can have a little bit of it, right? So that's okay. Coffee. Yes. I got to tell you this. I think you'll find it interesting. I didn't start drinking coffee until I was like, I don't know, 50 years old. And because I thought I liked the smell of it, but I always thought, oh, it's bad. It's bad for your body. It's bad for you. So I'm not going to drink it. And I went to one talk with this neuroscientist, and she was talking about how your brain loves coffee. Your brain could live in coffee. And then I thought, well, if it's good for my brain and I can drink it and still be able to sleep, so I'm in. So anyways, I've been drinking coffee now since that one presentation by a neuroscientist.
You still drink coffee?
I do.
Is it? Yeah. It's good for you?
Well, it's good for your brain. And the only bad thing about it, and it's got like no calories, right? So it's a stimulant, no calories. The only thing that's bad about it is if it affects your sleep, right? So if you don't drink enough that it affects your sleep, then you're golden is the way I see it.
Oh, I like you. Are you not? Are you deceiving me and the people? Because somebody just told me I'm not supposed to have coffee.
Well, maybe it's, you know what, Daniel, there are 1,000 ways to live a good human life. For
Oh,
me, I think coffee works for me. For you, maybe not. Like, so you have to make that decision for you. So just
oh,
like we were talking about nutrition, people have different things about what good nutrition means, right? So there's not just one way, there's 1,000 ways. So,
I thought we were trusting the science.
well, yeah, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Maybe you're going to
But
force
you
me to
see,
rethink this, Daniel.
ah,
Now I'm going to have to think this through again. Did that make sense?
no, but you see, uh, that is again part of a conflict. Uh, a healthy person is somebody who's able to show up and to show up the best version of themselves,
Yes.
no matter the difference and tensions that they may have to encounter. A lot of us, like all of a sudden, it's not healthy. Suddenly I say, it's not good to drink coffee. Oh, somebody just says it's good to drink coffee. Oh, so it's important that people listen to what you said, which is there's 1,000 ways to be human and to be yourself. And that again, what may be good for you is just good for you. And that I cannot necessarily colonize the whole world and say you have to drink coffee.
Yeah. No.
Or I like wine. The whole world must drink wine because I know some people who live and would drink a glass of wine a day and live over 100 years. I said definitely if you could drink more wine, you would live longer.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the whole 1,000 ways, how do you discover those 1,000 ways? Being open to people that you meet, learn the lesson that they have to share you. Maybe they teach you something you never thought of, and you say, that's a way better solution. I'm going to try that and see if that works better for me, right? So that's about being open to what you can learn from the people to meet, especially the people that are different than you. The people that are same you know most of the things they know, but the people are different is where you have the learning opportunity. Are you with me, Daniel? Oh, is he back? Well, while Daniel is getting his internet connection happening again, the show is called Hopifiers. And so what the show is about basically thinking in a very optimistic fashion about life. What things are there possibilities that we have that we've never maybe thought about? As an example, there may be enough food to feed everybody in the world, that nobody has to die of hunger. There's very likely that that's the case. We waste so much food in countries like ours where we have so much, and with quotas and artificial things that happen that impact those decisions. So Daniel is back. There he is.
No, I heard you talking. Just keep on talking.
So anyways, I just was saying that the focus of the show is on optimism and building hope. And part of it is the belief that things could be better than they are right now. And I believe, I don't know if you believe this, but I believe that there is enough food in the world produced right now to feed every person in the world. Not distributed the right way, but it exists right now. So that solution, that could be solved. Nobody has to die of hunger. There is enough technology to have everybody have fresh water. And one of our guests that we talked about before, Dr. Halonga, showed us the technology and how it works. So those things are possible. It's just a matter of how do we get it coordinated and move together to make that happen. And I think a part of that is we got to think more in terms of Daniel and I were just saying about, we focus on differences, and what we should be focused on is what's the same. What's our common humanity that we share? And shouldn't we have the basics for all, right? What do you think, Daniel?
Friendship is built. Some of the deepest friendship in history have been built during wartime.
During war times?
Yes. And sometimes people who experience the same thing together bind together.
Right. Yeah.
Like when we suffer pain together, there's something about that unite us. The whole world gathered together to make a vaccine for COVID in a record time.
Right. Yes.
right? Because it was, they call it a pandemic. I mean, everybody is affected, right? Notwithstanding what where people are standing in that on one or the other side of the argument. But here's something that is true. Everybody came together into one. So it tells me if the whole world feels hunger, if we all experience hunger, we know what it is to be there, to have an empty stomach, and to live, and to not know if tomorrow morning you're going to be there. When we feel the same pain, we tend to actually sympathize and work better together. Like come together after World War I and II. And again, when you see that today, lots of people around the world are saying, how come we are not finding any remedy for malaria? Well, how come like malaria killed more people than COVID-19 altogether so far? Malaria, it killed more people, some per month, than what COVID have done to us in North America, like per month. Like, but why is it we're not doing anything about it?
Yes.
We're not feeling the pain yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, I understand totally what you're saying. And that
so,
commonality, that hopefully COVID has now brought us to a little bit more of a common ground, that we can see that our individual health and our collective health are tied, right? It's important for people that are 5,000 miles away to be healthy, for me to be healthy as well, right? Because that's the nature of the business, nature of our reality, right? So,
and that's the good thing about this beautiful country, Canada. I see in more than 1,000 ways they are reaching out as agent of peace. They're reaching out as humanitarian, as missionaries, as volunteers. It doesn't matter. People are going and reaching out to a far corner of the world. There is more optimism in the air now than there has ever been in any time in history.
Yeah.
And I'm more optimistic because I see it in people. I see people, because I run a couple of charity, I run and also a couple of works here, and I can see how people, even during COVID, are donating what they have. They're giving of themselves. They're giving. They're volunteering. They're providing the little bit that they have to help other people. You know, when I see that willingness and that readiness to help, you know, it makes me feel very hopeful and very optimistic about this world. Sometimes we underreport the contribution the Canadian bring in the global sphere. We underreport the good that people do. I think it's time that we stop and we begin celebrating the good that our people have been able to do. That's incredible. I don't know. So there should be more optimism in the air.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, back to your comment before about, where you have beliefs that you are less than, right? Somehow that you have a belief that you are less than, and that impacts you and your ability to be the best version of you, but it also impairs your ability to be there for others and to be there for the world with the contribution you have, right?
Yes.
Yes. So there's one thing. Did we ever talk about adverse childhood experiences? Did we ever talk about that?
Yeah, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the long and the short of it, I know this topic very well, but the summary is this. We've all experienced some kind of trauma in our life, all of us. Some of them, the traumas were very small, and some of them, they were huge, right? But whatever those traumas are, if they happened when we were a child, we could walk away from that situation believing that we are somehow less than, that we are deficient, that we somehow are not a good human being, right? Because when we're a little person and something bad happens, or somebody dies of a drug overdose in our home, as an example, a little person believes that they caused it somehow. They weren't a good enough kid. They weren't a good enough human. So people have these traumas that are stored with these emotions and this this misunderstanding from when they were a youth that everything was their fault. Their parents getting divorced, their fault. Their dad getting sick, their fault. Their mom committing suicide, their fault. So if they believe that and they keep that for the rest of their life, they are going to be at less than where they could be, and they're going to have less enjoyment in life, less good relationships, less health. And so I encourage then adults who have survived trauma in their youth to revisit that and kind of reframe that situation. And I think that I know that they would enjoy considerably better health for sure.
Yeah,
and
man,
we,
I like that.
yeah, okay, good. So
This is again, let me add this, and it's just like sometime in the same way when I'm embarrassed to be seen. I'm embarrassed to be touched. I'm embarrassed to be noticed. Whenever I live in that, I diminish.
yes,
I basically, because I am not present authentically. You see,
yeah,
it's important that I learn that I am okay, just as I am. I am loved, I am welcomed, and that I am wanted. You see, because notwithstanding the where you come from, you can do something about your situation today. You do not need to live again, to live in that place, because thank God Almighty, you are here. And because you are here, the world is more hopeful, and the world can become more helpful with your unique contribution. Just show up as you are. Let the whole world deal with it. Don't just show up. Even if a stupid person were to come and tell you and say, you're not welcome here, you say, I am welcome. This is my world. I get to be present. I'm a dative self. My name is Daniel Zopula. My feet are grounded and I'm here. I apologize for the inconvenience.
love it. That's awesome, Daniel.
Yes. And so when we show up and we can do that, because if you refuse to do that, you are cheating the world. Of your presence, you are cheating the world of who you are, of someone so helpful. Your presence makes the world a better place. Every little one counts. Every individual counts. And I think that's important. So when you talk about those things, I think the early childhood issues, and I know, and both of us, we know what it feels like because we have been through it. And yet, if you are doubting that there is hope, you're doubting that there is hope about you, look at me, look at Alan, look at us. We are here, notwithstanding what we've been through. There is hope, and there is more optimism in the air. You can do it. Tell them that.
Sir.
Yeah,
you are enough, right, Daniel?
Right.
You are enough. Yes.
That's right.
And I don't know if Daniel likes this or not, but I love this. One thing that I've been doing I decided about a year ago that I am and I aspire to be my favorite human being. Now, my favorite human being doesn't mean the best human being, but it's certainly no less than any other. So, but my favorite human being is just a preference. It's like I like chocolate over vanilla. Or I like strawberry over, it's a preference. I am my favorite human being. And the aspire part is I want to be a better human being tomorrow. What can I do today to make tomorrow a little bit better? What could you do today to make tomorrow a better day for Daniel?
Wow. Anything less will be an insult to my glory.
Nice.
Anything less, it will be an insult to my dignity, to my presence. And I think when all of us begin to believe that, then we begin to realize, wow, that's great. Like the world, like when I begin to accept me, I realize that, Alan get to accept himself as he is. It's a healthy way forward. When you begin to welcome yourself in the world and allow yourself to be the very best version and love your neighbor as yourself. You can't say you love your neighbor if you hate you.
Yes.
That's not fair. So go and do something more. Love you. Accept yourself. Respond to yourself. Treat yourself. Wash yourself. Dust yourself. I buy great looking glasses, even though they're dirty. That's great. My glasses, I don't know. I look
Oh, okay, Daniel's on a break. Well, I think I'm still going. Yeah. So while we wait for Daniel to come back, there was one thing I was going to mention as well, which might be applicable as well, is about appreciation for your health, right? We all, a lot of times we don't appreciate what we have, and then something goes wrong. Then our shoulder blows up, or our knee hurts, or we got heartburn bad, or we've got all these things that are going wrong. But how about today with the health that you have? How about today with the health you have, you appreciate it? You think that you can hear quite well, you can see well, you can move easily. You know, your body doesn't have aches and pains. Your body's working so well. So isn't it great to appreciate how well your body's working today? There's going to be a day that it might not, but today it's working well. So appreciate and value your body that's working well. So it's a gift that you have for the rest of your life. Enjoy it. Have all the experiences you want to have for sure, but treat it well and value and appreciate when it's working well. Do you agree with that, Daniel?
I like that. I'm saying receive the day. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Appreciate it. Life is lived one day at a time. They don't make 2 or 3 days at a time anymore.
They don't.
For a long time, I don't know why they changed it. But it used to be, but now they make it 1 day at a time. So receive one, enjoy it. And then when you wake up, you say, oh, I'm not feeling good. But actually, I feel good. But I have a condition, but today I feel good. Enjoy, like savor and celebrate and be grateful. No, that's really, even that alone, that would change. That change of attitude will change the altitude and the quality of your life.
Right.
It's so important. And I just want to just say thank you for even taking the time to listen to us, just chat and having fun, even though my internet is just absolutely crap.
Well, it's getting fixed, right? You're going to have super speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got some people working on my internet right now and make it so next week it will be really good. So that's what's going on.
Daniel's internet is going to be so good, he'll be able to broadcast into the future. It's going to be that good.
Come on now. I can do it. I will do it. And I believe it. And thanks for recognizing.
So, Daniel, I think we're going to try to do this to 30 minutes. We're like 37 minutes now.
I know.
So should we wrap it up, or do you want to have another?
Wrap it up. You should wrap it up, and especially before my internet fall down.
Okay, so Brother Daniel and I encourage you to come back here every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and we can have a conversation. And hey, Chris made a note in our chat. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else want to do that? Please do. Leave us some chats. We'll have an exchange. Matter of fact, we got a phone number on here. You can call us while we're doing this show, and we would have a chat with you, or an email address. So if you want to reach out to us, if you have ideas, gentle correction for us, if you think that we could do something better, bring it on. I'd love to hear it. Right?
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Brother Daniel. It's always great hanging out with you, my friend.
See you soon, Thursday.